Always was a fan of the Serengeti and how lions hunt every day. So when I stepped on the mat, I became the hunter.
There's a shot, he's in.
I was the last person that you wanted to wrestle at 189 pounds.
There's Lewis, there should be two. That's two for takedown.
When I got a hold of you, it was a bad day, and I let you know about it.
It's no surprise that the NFL is littered with former wrestlers.
I wrestled for 5 years, 8th grade to my senior year.
So you were heavyweight state champ all 3 years?
Yes! But there's also a coach whose wrestling accolades rival those of the players.
All right, so let me see if I can guess this. Dayball. Good guess. McDaniel? Yes. No way! Come on! Really? Oh, no. Oh, God. Can't be. Sorry, Mike.
AFC. Vrabel?
Oh, Vrabel?
Yeah. Every single coach has said him, it's not him.
He just seems like he would be.
Gonna guess McDermott. I mean, he looks like a wrestler, doesn't he?
Yeah, McDermott. Yeah, he was a heck of a wrestler.
Do you remember your record?
76-1. Only taken down one time.
Sean McDermott was a two-time national prep champion in Pennsylvania.
Do players jokingly challenge you?
No, they know.
They know what?
They know not to mess with me.
So what makes wrestling and football such a harmonious duo?
Number one, teaches so much about yourself from a competitive standpoint, character standpoint.
Well, you gotta have a level of grit. You can't quit on that, man.
An unbelievable amount of strain, toughness, work ethic, and endurance.
Guys that have wrestled in high school or college, you know, they're hard to get rid of because they find a way to fight their way onto the team.
The hand-to-hand combat, the grappling, you're in a tight area, so your hand usage and your leverage is so critical.
The wrestling background I like actually for defensive players because of the tackling element.
That was good. You feel the trail leg?
The way that I tackle is basically a takedown. You know, I take whatever hand and I grab it right behind the hamstring, I pull up, and I take 3 hard steps and drive your feet and drive the defender onto the mat or onto the turf.
There's one skill that's essential to success in both sports.
Wrestling is about leverage.
Teaches you leverage.
I think those guys have a great feel for leverage of, you know, when you have too much weight over here, they flip you and they can kind of push and pull and feel the leverage and feel the weight and the momentum on you or not on you.
From the initial snap of the ball, linemen, once they get into one another, you know immediately who has the leverage. And if you don't have it, you have to get it back. And wrestling is a way that you learn, if I don't have leverage here, how am I getting it back to put it in my favor? That's one of the great things that wrestling takes to football.
No one understands the importance of leverage better than former Patriots offensive lineman Stephen Neal, a two-time NCAA and a world champion wrestler.
Stephen Neal wins his first world championship. Yes.
Nobody would miss a Neal. Nobody.
Now, Neal is coaching high school wrestling in Poway, California.
And I'm getting it to my feet. So leverage in wrestling is super important. You know, where your hands are, where your body is, all those different feels is super important. In wrestling, you have to have someone at a 45-degree angle for them to start counting near fall. So if your hands aren't right and they're at 50 degrees, you don't get any points. And then when you're taking someone down, you have to change levels, you have to penetrate, you have to have your body elongated so you can get them knocked down. In football, I always talk about lower pad wins, hat and hands. So I had really good hat and hands. I was able to get my hips low. Getting your hands on them, shoulder position, getting your head lower. And these are ways you can control your opponent in wrestling and on the line of scrimmage. I go to a lot of schools and talk to them about why football players should wrestle. And I could just sum it up in this. In a football practice, the amount of seconds you actually put your hands on someone in practice might be 2 minutes. In the wrestling room, you have your hands on an actual human being for 30 minutes, 45 minutes. And so I can have my eyes closed and I can feel your pressure of your body, and I know, okay, he's about to spin, because that time I have with my hands on someone.
Neal never played a down of college football, but he was able to become a 3-time Super Bowl champion from the skills he developed on the wrestling mat.
Every time an O-lineman asks me, what can I do? I tell him wrestle. O-line, D-line, linebackers, anybody where you're hitting, anybody where you got to use your hands, any position. Wrestling helps.
I could easily say I loved wrestling as much as football.
You know what it is? It's my wrestling background. Because you got to think, everything I did in wrestling was 7 chains slip, 7 chains double. I didn't know you wrestled.
The skills that I had, the skills that I still carry to this day on how to take another human being and just dominate them. People talk about football. The sport that forever defined my life was the wrestling mat.